Welcome to this edition of the Northern Michigan Update. I'm State Senator Jason Allen, and it's a privilege to have our viewers watching. Today we have a gentleman from the AARP. Bill Knox is with us. It's nice to have you today, sir.
Thanks for having me, Senator.
Tell me a little bit about what you do as your job as an advocate for the AARP.
I am the Director of Government Relations for Michigan. We have 50 state offices and a huge office in Washington, as you probably are aware. And my background has always been in legislation and so forth. So I worked in the state senate for many years. So I joined AARP in 2000 as an employee of AARP.
Okay. What kind of, as you're being an advocate for mature citizens and being 43 years old, I'll be there before we know it. What are some of the things that you're identifying and trends that you're seeing as this generation of people mature, and what are the types of things?
We are seeing the need to provide housing. Yeah. The need to find affordable health care, particularly prescription drugs. And we're seeing the need for people to find something to do, which is one of our big things. Is one of our founder, Ethel Percy Andrus, was a retired school principal out in California. And one of her mottos was to serve and not to be served. And she came upon the notion that people age better if they have something to do and they feel good about their community. So that's been one of our core strengths.
Right. Okay, so let's start off with sort of the housing, and then we'll kind of maybe transition into some of the legislative, and then we'll finish up with sort of what some of our seniors are doing that are sort of impressive. You talked about to find a place to live that's elder friendly, and I know that the governor came up with this report that was called like elder friendly communities. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about sort of some of the things that you see and envision working in housing.
Well, our AARP did its own study a couple of years ago on this very issue, and what we're finding, what we'd like to see, let's put it that way, is the ability for our members to get around in the community safely. The housing has to be user-friendly for an older person or an aging person. Mm-hmm. One of the interesting statistics is that 70% of the people who are now living in a place and who are 65 years old will stay there the rest of their lives. 70%? Yes, 70% of people who are now 65 will stay in that place, the place they're living now, until they pass. And that's true of your communities also. I took the liberty of looking at sort of the demographics of northern Michigan, and there are, the population is healthier there, interestingly enough, probably because they had to work harder, but they are less wealthy, and they are among that group that's going to need that transportation to get around. Okay, so you talk about northern Michigan and sort of the statistics that I've been briefed. If you take a look at our mantra, which there's more than hicks and sticks north of Highway 46. Right. And as you well know, there's 4 senators, Senators Thomas, McManus, myself, and Senator Prucy, and I believe there's 12 House members. Right. And so there's a much less dense population, but correct. I was told that the census data shows that someplace by the year 2015, 2020, that a third of the population will be over the age of 55. Yes, that's definitely true. And so what you're seeing is and that's going to be requiring our local elected officials, our local hospitals, our people to start getting a different mindset. Exactly. Exactly. Now, is there any templates of other communities in the state of Michigan or other communities in the United States that have sort of embraced this? There are, but they're all percolating now. Nobody's really gone into it whole hog, just to coin a phrase. Right. We have one of our key volunteers up in your area, a gentleman named Tom Emling, convened a group of senior advocate associations. And they came up with some ideas, just to give me let me give you a flavor of what they're Tom has been historically with Michigan State University. Correct. And the extension service. Right, and so you have, from what I've seen, you've been very collaborative, working with a variety of agencies. So you've collaborated with Michigan State as one of these partners. Yes, correct. And Tom's group came up with this list of things, and it's very interesting. more granny flats, which are temporary houses that are attached to permanent houses so that an aging parent can live with the kids. Technological solutions to help older people connect to the world, like classes in computer basics. You wouldn't think, but as you look, like our membership, for instance, is 50 plus. All those people, those boomers who are getting into who are turning, becoming seniors, let's put it that way, are pretty much computer literate. So communities are going to have to find ways to serve them. This is an interesting one. Online scrapbooks that allow people to software that let people scan pictures of family members in to keep their, attached to their families, memories, right? Online grocery ordering for the homebound elderly.
Right.
Linked databases that hold referral information for services to the elderly and disabled
Now, just going back to
populations.
online, we have a lot of great vineyards in northern Michigan.
Yes.
Could you let you do those types of things too?
Yeah, oh,
Sure, good. Okay, just I had to get
I've
the
been to
plug.
some of those. They're
Had to get the
fantastic.
plug for our northern Michigan wineries in that.
My wife and I stayed up at Chateau Chantal once. We enjoyed it immensely.
good.
A 211 system. That's
Yeah. Now, what is a 211 system?
211 system is a phone bank, essentially, that provides a very sophisticated referral system for people who call up and need services. It's operated by United Ways of Michigan and other, in conjunction with other groups. If you need something, for healthcare, for instance, some sort of healthcare issue you have, not an emergency care, but just some sort of, they will hook you up with the right place. The other issue that they came up with, which is connected, is a single point of entry. As you know, we passed the POTA legislation last year. Single point of entry is a place where folks can come and get information and referral on long-term care services and supports. And one of the other things is a central location for intergenerational activities, where grandparents and kids can get together and do things.
Right. Going back to the single point of entry on that, now, I've been, just so that our listeners, there's a variety of different folks that provide aging services. You've got your county agencies, you've got the area agencies. In other states, how's this single point of entry worked, and sort of what happens on that?
It has been very successful in the states that have tried it. We are really way behind the times in that issue. There are like 26 other states that have it. The most prominent and most successful organizations are in Washington, Oregon, and Colorado. Okay. Colorado is the oldest one. Our model has been to have to let people bid to start the agency. In Colorado, they did another thing, which is let the state, a state office operated itself, and we didn't like that so much here. We'd rather have it sort of a open bidding kind of process. There are 4 pilot programs in place right now, one in the Upper Peninsula, one in Western Michigan, one in Southwest Michigan, and then one in Detroit.
Okay. So how does this work? Do is it a telephone number or a website, or how does that?
It's all those things. You're given information, the telephone number, and you can make an appointment. You or if you're a child who has an aging parent or some other situation. When people are discharged from hospitals, these single points of entry will work with discharge planners to help to lead them to the single point of entry, and then they create a plan, a care plan, which may involve a nursing home stay. It may involve going home to receive care. And that's another big issue I should mention, is that AARP wholeheartedly supports home and community-based services, which